the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty.
Take a lap.
What is going on, good people? You are watching the Fantasy Football Show Week 15 Start Bench Edition Friday night, and we've got a lot to talk about. Postponed games. What do you do? How do you err on the side of caution walking into this crazy Week 15, this Armageddon of a Week 15? And so we're going to break all that down and more. Blackbeard first in the room. Rooks is second. Brandon, Cambo, Triple A, 28, Gary, Terry Roberts, Zapata. Appreciate all of you being here. I want to kick this off with a little bit of a sad news. One of my very first followers on YouTube, Nick, not one of the Nicks that we were talking about previously, but the long time ring the bell Nick. Nick used to always come in here and say, "Hey Smitty, ring the bell for me. Ring the bell for me." One of the very first followers I had on YouTube, probably one of my first 10 followers, when we would stream and there'd be 5 to 10 people in the live stream. Nick was in here from the very beginning. Nick unfortunately passed away, and it was kind of a shock. So just want to say prayers up for his family, and it's pretty sad news. Like it's got me sad because Nick's been here for a long time. He hasn't been around on the live streams a lot lately, so if you're kind of new, you may not know him. But anybody that's been riding from the beginning has seen Nick come in here. It sucks that he passed. So again, this is a different Nick than some of you remember from that guy that came in here earlier. I'm not talking about that guy. This is a guy that was a big time follower of ours. So just wanted to let everybody know that we're thinking about him here. And man, Nick, you'll be missed, pal. So let's get into Week 15, and let's talk about all the players that are questionable for you walking into week number 15, your championship week of fantasy football. The Rams game here between the Rams-Seahawks game was postponed until Tuesday, so know that. That leaves you in a potential bind if you are needing to make decisions based on that game and you're worried about whether that game will even happen, because there's a slight percentage chance that Rams game, what if things aren't cleaned up in enough time? What if there are too many people that are still popping up on the C list? We don't know what to do necessarily. There are a lot of ways to, I guess, approach this situation in fantasy football week 15 with all this madness going on. Some people have backup plans like, hey, if this guy doesn't play, then retroactively you're starting this guy. Now, I'm not saying that's a good idea or a bad idea. I'm not judging anybody for doing that. I'm kind of more cutthroat with my leagues. Like, this is part of the strategy. If you don't think you should be playing a player on Tuesday because they popped up on the C list and the game got postponed, to me, this is just my opinion. I'm not judging anybody else, but to me, I'm more cutthroat with my leagues where that's part of the strategy. This enters into the equation now, whereas before nobody else got to do that kind of thing earlier on in the season. So I'm not about changing rules mid-season. I'm not about trying to adapt to holding somebody's hand. And I personally wouldn't want to win. Saying, oh, my player didn't play, so now you're going to plug that guy in, and now I win the matchup. I don't want to play that way, but I don't judge anybody that does. So make sure you do what's right for your league. And what I recommend is if you're going to do any kind of like rule changing, you make a vote and you have the majority, if not more than the majority, agree to do it. So don't go changing things as a commissioner without getting everybody on board, because you can destroy a league that way. The Browns game between the Browns and the Raiders has also been postponed to Monday, December 20th. So we have an extra game on Monday. We have the final game of the week on Tuesday. So make sure you understand your Raiders-Browns players and your Rams-Seahawks players they're postponed to Tuesday and Monday. So make sure you understand that. Nick Chubb should have a big game. as long as he doesn't pop up on the C list. And I'm afraid of that because the running back room has been touched by this. So, definitely need to err on the side of caution. But also, you can't not play Nick Chubb. You can't not play all these players. But it's worrisome. You are in a potential situation of risk when this game is being postponed because everybody's getting infected, and it's just ravaging through the facility and through the team. And you got to worry about, okay, I'm going to wait on Nick Chubb, and will he play? What if the game's canceled outright? We don't really know. There's only so much time they have to try and make up a game, and almost so much maneuvering you can do with time frames and waiting and testing and all that stuff. So it's tough to say. I certainly am not going to put Nick Chubb on my bench. I'm just letting you know there's risk involved if you don't have backup plans in the league. Okay, Ramondre Stevenson season, probably, bro. Kevin, it's looking like it's going to be a little mini Ramondre Stevenson affair in week 15. So get ready and jump on board. Jump on board the Ramondre Stevenson train. Josh Allen, this is great news. I want to put these right here so everybody knows the Rams game and the Seahawks postponed. The Browns and the Raiders postponed to Monday and Tuesday, so those will play unless something else happens. Josh Allen removed from the Buffalo Bills final injury report. This is great news after the man was walking in a boot after the game last week. So fantastic news. I do expect Josh Allen to have quite a day. I expect him to have a day, and you should too. Mahomes had a day. Now Josh Allen's going to have a day. So get ready for a big explosion in week 15 out of Josh Allen. Even though he'll be without Emmanuel Sanders, which I'll touch on in a minute. Adam Thielen, next up. Adam Thielen is a very 50-50 game time call. I wouldn't expect on having his services in week 15. And if he doesn't go, Osborne will be a good play. Very good way to maybe back up that Thielen start is if you have Osborne, who's still available in a big amount of leagues. So don't be shy of picking him up and then having that decision to make where you can put one in if the other one doesn't go. So, but Thielen's very 50-50. This news seems to be trending in the positive direction. David Montgomery illness, practice in full on Friday, and there was thoughts that he may pop up on the dreaded C list because of the illness tag that usually is like a precursor of what's going to happen, and he didn't. So David Montgomery's looking likely to play. Make sure you understand and follow the situation carefully. But I'm definitely going to say he's now in a good position to start, but stay on top of it. Saquon Barkley, ankle, was not given an injury designation for week 15. He just sits out because he's not fully healthy, but yet he's never on the injury reports. Why we don't trust injury reports. But this is good news. This means that just because he's not on the injury report doesn't necessarily mean he's not suffering from, bumps and bruises and swelling and needing to take maintenance days pretty much every day. It means that he's not at risk of not playing. So not being 50-50 questionable means there's no chance unless he had a setback or some kind of new injury, there's no chance that he's sitting, so that's good that he's not on the injury report in terms of that. So he's a flex play. He's not a running back 2 to me. I'd start Ramondre Stevenson over Barkley if I had Stevenson, just to give you an idea, a barometer of how confident I am in Saquon Barkley moving forward, which means I'm not. He's a flex running back 3, very good flex play, but nothing more right now, and probably won't be anything more. Stevenson could be a low-end running back 2, which is a level and notch above Barkley in my mind. Foster Moreau should be good to go for week 15. With Waller not playing, he's going to be somebody that people count on. So that's a good pickup if you need somebody. This is good news right here. DK Metcalf, full participant for Friday's practice. People have been worried about DK. Look, Lockett's out potentially. I mean, here's the thing. The Seahawks-Rams game postponed to Tuesday. Does that mean Lockett could potentially get back? Yeah, it does. We don't really know exactly what the timeline looks like for Lockett in the negative testing that needs to happen between now and Tuesday. So this could be one of those things where the postponing of the game allows Lockett to get back. Even if Lockett returns, I still expect DK to have a pretty darn good game in this one. I think he's very undervalued, very disrespected for good reasons I understand. But I'm going to be relying upon DK moving forward. He's a good buy low in Dynasty. He's a good guy to continue to throw into your flex play at the very least in redraft. I'm not sitting this man. I pretty much don't think I have a league because I play in very competitive bigger leagues. I don't play in really any 10 or 11 or it's always 12 or 14 or 16 team leagues. I don't have a team right now where I own DK where he can't find a way into my flex or one of my couple flex spots because most of the leagues I play in now, they have 2 or 3 wide receivers and a 1 or 2 flex spots. So it's near impossible for me to imagine with big lineups and big rosters that I have a player that I'm putting in over DK. So it's DK. DK's a great start this week, especially if Lockett doesn't get back in time, which he may or may not. So just know that. Elijah Mitchell is out for week 15. That means Jeff Wilson will probably get most of the run. It'll be a combination of Debo and Wilson, and Sermon's still on IR. So this is this is a Jeff Wilson potential good start for week number 15 if you need a running back. Tony Pollard should be back, but he could be limited. He's very questionable. Probably will play. We're hearing he's going to play. He'll eat into Zeke Elliott's time. Zeke Elliott didn't even do well when he had the full starting lineup at his disposal, and so I don't know if I have Zeke and Pollard, unless another report breaks that says, hey, Pollard's going to get a lot of work. I'm erring on the side of caution with Pollard and with Zeke. I'd probably say Zeke's the better play this week. But if Pollard proves that he's not really that hampered, then the next week we got to look at Pollard over Zeke. Right now, all we have to go on is that he's questionable and he may be limited. You can't really play him over Zeke right now. I would play Stevenson. If you've got Ramondre Stevenson, who's going to go off in week 15, and you've got Pollard and you've got Zeke and you got Stevenson and you can only start one, I'm going around this Cowboys situation, this running back situation. This is not the Aaron Jones and Thielen running back by committee situation in Green Bay. That one's better than this one. This one's more worrisome. This one's more questionable. This one's more ambiguous and cloudy. And I'm putting Stevenson in over Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott. So there you go. Tony Pollard questionable. I mean, a decent flex if you're in a bind, but we don't know if he's going to be limited. Zach Ertz is questionable with a hamstring injury. Questionable basically means 50-50. It could go either way. So he's questionable against the Lions. Everything I'm hearing is he'll probably play. A-Rod is not on the Green Bay Packers injury report, meaning, like Barkley, there's still an injury there, okay? But he's at no risk unless some other new injury or setback arises, or he lands on the dreaded C list. The no injury designation doesn't really tell the story anymore in the NFL. He's injured. His toe is bothering him. His toe is an issue, but he's not on the injury report at all, meaning he's got zero chance of missing the game. So know that he's a little banged up, but he's going to play, and A-Rod will be fine. A-Rod should have a good day. And let me tell you this. I got A-Rod right here. I got Aaron Jones right here. And A.J. Dillon I don't have on screen, but I'll talk about Dillon. This game could get out of hand quick. And when I say out of hand, I don't mean in favor of the Ravens. The Ravens are, as I'll get to in a second, potentially going to be without Lamar Jackson, going to potentially be without Hollywood Brown. This game could get out of hand quickly. I see your super chat. I'm going to put you in the corner once we get through the news. Thank you. I'm going to put you in line here, super chat wise, guys. Appreciate you dropping those. Bring him in. It's fine if you do them now. I'm just going to put you in the corner, then get through them. Aaron Jones will play week 15, and he's a hard bench. You can't bench him. You can't. He's an easy start. Dylan's an easy start too, and if you own both Aaron Jones and Dylan, they're both easy to play unless you have a freaking amazing lineup where you've got Ramondre Stevenson, Aaron Jones, and Dylan, and you got to pick two. Then you're in a bind. You're in a bind that even I can't help you out of, because you then have to play Stevenson, and then you have to pick between Aaron Jones and Dylan. And I don't know which one I like more. I lean Aaron Jones because I believe in the end he will be the guy that Aaron Rodgers turns to. The Packers love to run the ball and give those in between the tackle carries to Dylan to keep Aaron Jones healthy. Aaron Jones is a touchdown machine and threat. Anytime he's on the field, he could score 2 or 3 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, I don't care how bad Aaron Jones is playing overall, he is probably one of the most likely players in the NFL today to have a 3 TD game that's not a quarterback. He just is. He hasn't shown signs of decline. He's been banged up. They just are using both Aaron Jones and Dylan. But if I had to put a bet on a player scoring 3 TDs in one game, he's still one of the top potential players to do that kind of touchdown damage on any given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, or occasional Saturday, and now maybe even postponed to Tuesday. This guy is capable of it. So I'm going Aaron Jones if I have to pick. But I'm telling you right now, with Lamar Jackson maybe not playing, with Hollywood Brown maybe not playing, the Packers might get out to an early lead and ground and pound and use Dylan enough that Dylan gets 100 yards and 1 or 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones gets 100 total yards and 1 to 2 touchdowns. This could be one of those games. It may not. It could go 100 different directions. I can't predict the future. I can only tell you the odds are very good that Aaron Jones and Dylan are probably pretty good plays. Again, your dilemma comes when you have a guy like Ramondre Stevenson, who you stash because we talked about him on the show for months now as a win-a-league player. I didn't tell you pick up Ramondre Stevenson for my health. I didn't tell you to pick up Ramondre Stevenson because it was fun. I told you to pick up Ramondre Stevenson and stash him months ago because he's a win-a-league player. A guy that dominated the preseason, the amount of work that he got, the limited action he got, he dominated. He looked phenomenal. This guy's a touchdown scoring, nose for the end zone machine. And if he's starting, which he now is this week, we have on good authority, assuming nothing changes, this guy's going to go crazy. And I think Bolden's not a bad pickup and play either. If you're in trouble at running back 2 or flex and you have no options right now, Brandon Bolden is a pretty darn good pickup and play. He could have a significant role that is kind of hard to see happening, and then it just kind of unfolds. So make sure you grab Brandon Bolden if you're in a bind. Or even if you've got Ramondre and you've got a spot to burn and you've got some bum in that spot. Maybe you got Treadwell. Maybe you picked up Treadwell, or you've got a wide receiver you're never going to use, or you're playing that backup, defense game, and you don't really like the defense you picked up, and you're like, I could live with the Patriots the next 2 weeks. I'm fine. Drop your backup defense, pick up Bolden, secure that backfield for right now, because it could potentially help you and gain you some value walking into the coming weeks. Love the Packers. Love everybody involved. They're going to score big. Even MVS if he played. Lazard if he plays. I'll be honest. I don't even know if Lazard is at risk of not playing. Like, there's so much going on. There are so many moving parts around the NFL right now. You guys think I remember everything off the top of my head. I don't. No one can. I do live shows so much that I don't have time to prep for half of any of this stuff. So, while some people do one show a week and they sit there and read everything and prep, I'm literally going live. I'm jumping to this. I'm going to the zoo. I just got back from the zoo and I'm trying to cram on some of the news here. Lazard looks fine. I think he probably should. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't play this week. Valdez-Scantling's been banged up. He's questionable. He's expected to play, though. So let me go back. Circle back. I like everybody involved in this game. We're talking about a massive. Tristan, I got your super chat question right here. Thank you, kind sir. Appreciate you. We got Rooks with the Christmas tree. Stevenson-ish Smitty season. Let's go. Christmas trees. Get them out. Like the video. Appreciate that comment, pal. By Ramos. Thank you, Ramos. Like the video if you're new. Hit subscribe. We go live every Tuesday and Thursday, every Friday and Saturday, every Sunday, I don't know, every day. We go live every day on YouTube, but we have certain ones that are shows that are locked in place, and there's the Tuesday, Thursday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern, and then the Friday and Saturday night shows are essentially at midnight Eastern every Friday, every Saturday. We're doing the Friday one right now. Bro Smitty will rant about Stevenson. I've been ranting about Stevenson. You're going to have to rewatch this bad boy because I've already talked about Stevenson. Although we're going to get to another Stevenson article and I'll talk about him again, so don't worry. Aaron Jones, love him. Aaron Rodgers, love him. Devontae Adams, good to go. Lazard, MVS, why not? And of course, AJ Dillon, put him in. If Lamar and Hollywood Brown don't play, or just Lamar, it's going to be a big scoring affair for the Green Bay Packers in this contest. Melvin Gordon, questionable for Week 15. Melvin, buddy boy. We need some more music, different music for this. Where we go? We got, let's see. We need something here. Melvin, you have done so much for fantasy football, pal. You have been, Melvin Gordon, one of our heroes. And it's because of your dedication, Melvin, we are going to ask that you sit out the next 3 weeks to get healthy, young man, so you can be ready to come back strong somewhere else next year. We want you, Melvin, to rest your hand. Don't put your hand at risk. No one wants you at risk, bro. We love you, Melvin. We're only worried about your health. We want you to sit this one out and just take a nice little vacation, a staycation, whatever you want, Melvin. In fact, I bet you all of us would pool together to pay for a vacation for you. If you decide you want to take one, reach out to us. We will start a GoFundMe page. Give Melvin Gordon a break. Give Melvin Gordon rest. Okay? Melvin, we love you, pal. We only want what's good for you. Take a seat. Take a seat, Melvin. Or Melvin.
Get lambed.
Anyway. Hopefully we get more of Javonte Williams this week. Javonte, who was questionable or just listed as banged up, is looking like he'll be a full go. And don't worry about Javonte Williams playing or not playing. He's going to play. And there's talk about him not being limited. I may or may not have that piece up here, but we'll go ahead and break that down as well. Go take some laps, please, says Terry. Terry wants Melvin very rested, and please put him on the bench for now. Lions declared DeAndre Swift out for Week 15 with the shoulder. The good news here is this was talked about a couple weeks ago as they're going to put him on IR, and they didn't. So I don't know where that came from, if there's any truth to that, but it looks like DeAndre Swift is not being placed on IR. They do expect him back. They would have put him on IR if they didn't expect him back, because that means that you expect him to be out for 3 weeks or more, and they didn't do that. So when a team doesn't place a player on IR, which is a guaranteed 3 weeks out, it gives you the hint that they're hopeful that the player's coming back. So the good news is he kind of felt like he was almost going to maybe play. So I feel like he should potentially have a much better shot at playing Week 16. So if you have him, hopefully you make it through this week. Hopefully you get a bye week and you'll get DeAndre Swift back for Week 16. That's the hope, but he's not playing Week 15. So expect to be without him. And I don't know how much I trust anybody else in that offense, you know what I mean? So pick up, what's the guy's name? The other Lions running back. Blanking out on his name. What's that guy's name? I gotta look it up. Blanking out. Depth chart, Craig Reynolds. Such an easy, no offense, Craig. No, you're such a forgettable name. Craig Reynolds. I can't. Where's Craig? And Jamar Jefferson, I don't think he's the answer. But Craig Reynolds. Craig, let's put Craig up. Let's give Craig his respect that he deserves, because I can't remember his name. Here we go. Let me save this. Here you go, Craig. Rock out with a super chat. Rock out. Thank you. I'm putting all the super chats right there. We're just rolling through the news. This man right here, Mr. Forgettable. I can't remember this dude's name. Craig Reynolds. It's because it's like, Reynolds may be a last name, but it feels like a first name too. So it feels like two first names to me. Craig Reynolds. He's okay. He's a good pickup and play. Now that I've made fun of him a little bit, he's probably going to go nuts. So pick him up and start him. Yeah, Craig Reynolds and Associates. Does sound like a law firm, Robert said. Yeah, I think Craig Reynolds is for having... Let's hear it. Craig Reynolds, take a lap. Just because your name's confusing to me.
Take a lap.
Yeah, and what was his college? What kind of college did he go to? What was that? College, Kutztown. What? What is that? Kutztown College. If that's where he got his law degree, I don't know. Kutztown. Never even heard of it. I'm not ashamed to admit I've never heard of that college in my life. It sounds made up. It sounds like an online school. It sounds like an online-only college. He played football for Kutztown University online. And somehow, dude got in. Dude got into the NFL. He made it to the draft. He probably showed up on draft day. He was probably the 33rd person there, sitting in the draft room. Never heard of Kutztown. I mean, I'm sorry for the people in PA that I've never heard of Kutztown. I mean, I live in Arizona. I'm born and raised in Arizona, and there's cities and towns here I've never heard of. I hear people talk about it all the time. Remote learning. I went remotely to Kutztown online. Played 4 years at Kutztown University. 4 years. Okay, so Hollywood Brown, we talked about this one. Questionable for Week 15. Questionable. There's some serious doubt. I wouldn't say not likely to play, but I'd say very, very questionable. And we don't know what the illness part was. Did that pop up through you know what? Or is this something else? But the word is nearing unlikely to play. But anything could change in a heartbeat. Lamar Jackson ankle is questionable for Week 15. I mentioned this already. Aaron Rodgers going to ball. Aaron Jones going to ball. A.J. Dillon going to ball. If Lamar doesn't play. Lamar's looking... I think the wording was Lamar, there's a chance he could play. And I don't know about you, but the last time I heard there's a chance he could play, and he played, I don't remember it. A chance he could play is very, very, very doubtful. So it looks like it's going to be Green Bay Packers football constantly, controlling the clock, running the ball, giving A.J. Dillon 100 yards and a touchdown, giving Aaron Jones multiple scoring opportunities and a lot of yardage. Let's go. A.J. Dillon is out, you think, says Noah. Noah, let's pull this up and see what's cooking. Because if this is wrong, we're not going to be happy here with this report. I don't see anything about A.J. Dillon not playing.
Take a look.
If I'm wrong, Noah, and that pops up that he's out, I will take a lap as well. But when you come in and you drop something like this, it's lap time. Unless you got a source, unless it is true. If it ends up being true and I'm not on top of this tweet that came out, Schefter pulled it out of his back pocket right now and I didn't see it yet because I'm live and I'm busy. Noah, I will take a lap. And I'll point the finger right here, Noah. At myself. I swear I seen questionable on fantasy. On fantasy what? What's fantasy? Go look again, Noah. Come back and report back. And if not, take a lap. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with taking a lap, Noah. No one's mad at you, Noah. It's just you pay your dues, bro. And we do it in laps. Kareem Hunt placed on the reserve, the dreaded reserve, and is out for this game. I don't think there's a shot of him because it's postponed of him coming back in time, but you never know. No one really knows what's going on at all. Nobody. So, as of right now, he's out. But stay tuned in. And the other thing to think about here, yes, Noah, go look. I appreciate you being a good sport about this too, Noah. I mean, you're taking your laps like a broski. The other thing you got to think about here is Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, they're in the same running back room. There's a reason to worry. I'm just saying there's reason to worry that this potentially could hamper more than just Kareem Hunt. So let's hope that they're completely far apart. Let's hope that Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt aren't even in the same locker room, or haven't been. Like this is what concerns me, is the close contact between these wide receiver rooms and the quarterback, and the wide receivers and the wide receivers, the running back room and the quarterback. It's just the touch points are there to where you got to worry like crazy. So let's hope that doesn't. And Chubb is somebody you want to worry about. You got to worry about, like, since the game got postponed, there's more time for him to pop up. And God, it's a mess. This is a mess. But let's be hopeful with Chubb. Chubb, as of right now, Chubb is a top 5 running back play this week. I'm just telling you. Chubb could explode from weeks 15, 16, 17 so much that people are talking about Nick Chubb so high in 2022, where I'm not going to be a fan of drafting him that high, because I'm going wide receiver shopping if JT's off the board, Najee Harris is off the board, Javante's off the board. I don't even know that I'm drafting Eckler in the 5 range in 2022. You're going to see a lot of content from me that is anti-running back. And that's just the way I'm going to approach 2022. For right now, that's how I'm feeling. I'm not saying I won't draft any running backs, but I'm going to be one of the biggest advocates you will find for potentially looking to try my best to go best player available where it's wide receiver. I am all about best player available. What I'm trying to tell you is best player available to me is going to be wide receiver a big portion of the time, from like pick 6 until 24. From pick 6 until 24, best player available will oftentimes, more often than not, be wide receiver over running back. I'm just telling you. My point being, Chubb's going to ball out. I'm a big believer in Chubb for just weeks 15, 16, 17. It's a short window of time that he's got to stay healthy. And then when everybody else comes rolling in next year to be like, Chubb did so amazing at the end, I'm going to let them draft Chubb. I'm going to let other people draft injury-prone running backs, and I'm staying clear. And as good as Mixon's been this year, Mixon will be on my don't draft list early on. As good as Chubb could finish, I'm going to be avoiding Chubb. As good as Eckler has been, he's very injury-prone. He's kind of been banged up here and there all year, and you're like holding your breath when Eckler gets every carry. I'm staying so far away from running backs in general when I'm not looking at a running back that I absolutely love, because I feel like I can stockpile in ways that we've done this year, where you've got A.J. Dillon, you've got Madison filling in, you've got other players popping up, Penny. I mean, I feel like there's such a good way to build running back, and I'm not saying avoid running back overall. I'm not saying you can't still draft a Monty later or have some kind of rotation, but I mean, I'm thinking wide receiver in 2022. So Kareem Hunt out. Emmanuel Sanders is doubtful, which means that you should see a lot of Gabe Davis. And again, Josh Allen is not in that walking boot, not even on the injury report with a designation at all. So, drop a fire emoji in the chat for Urban Meyer. Bye, Urban. Thank you for ruining James Robinson's value. Thank you for drafting ETN and screwing that whole potential situation up. If ETN had gone somewhere else, maybe he would be thriving right now and looking fantastic and wouldn't have got hurt. So Urban Meyer is responsible for a lot, in my opinion. Okay, Rock out. Thoughts on Gibby on Tuesday. I can put in Freeman and Michael Carter, Penny instead. I mean, as long as Gibby's a go, bro, I like Gibby. I like Penny a lot, but I find another way to get Penny into my lineup if I'm you. And if you can't, I feel like Gibby's too hard to sit. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that in general. I could be talked out of it. I love Penny that much this week, but how do you sit Gibson? He had a bad game last week, sure. But the 4 games prior, coming out of the bye week in week 9, week 10, 11, 12, and 13, the dude averaged over 20 carries per game. He had an insane usage, and even in receptions in the receiving game, he had 2, 0, 7, 5 in those 4 games as well. So over 20 carries a game coming out of the bye in weeks 10, 11, 12, 13, 4 games. In those same 4 games, 2, 0, 7, and 6 for receptions. Oh no, I'm sorry, 2, 0, 7, and 5 for receptions, which is phenomenal, and a touchdown, a receiving touchdown. He only had 3 total TDs in those 4 games, but that's good. I mean, that's a really good usage. I just don't know that I can put him on the bench. I like Penny a lot, but you got to use Penny in a different scenario, I think. So I love the question, though. A lot of people are struggling with that, so I appreciate you bringing a question like that can help a lot of people. And I don't know that I answered it fully because Penny's a good start. Why Penny over Osborne? Because Penny just dropped a massive game, bro, last week. And I like Osborne, but right now you've got a lot of things like Thielen potentially could play. It's 50-50. I mean, Penny's guaranteed volume, bro. I like Osborne, but that's like a 60 and a touchdown feel, like if you're lucky, whereas Penny's like 100 yards and a touchdown. Just a much easier call. Terry Roberts says 154 in here and only 69 likes. Please punch that like button. If you're on mobile, just close the live chat real quick. It won't end the live stream. You'll still hear me. Close the live chat, hit the thumbs up, and click live chat again. Pops right back up. It takes literally seconds to do it. It helps your boy Smitty, and if I've done anything for you today, if I've helped you at all, punch that thumbs up and help your boy Smitty get this show on the road, because we're almost at 10K. And every thumbs up, every question and comment you put in the video helps this channel thrive. And we're going to go not only past 10K real fast, but we're heading to 20, then 25, then 50, and then to 100, where we're going to put that YouTube 100K plaque behind me. Maybe over here somewhere. I don't know. But it's going to be because of you guys. You guys are the show. You guys are the show. And I appreciate you. Thank you, Terry, for all you do. Johnny, dilemma, running back dilemma, Carter, Sanders, Edmonds, and Dillon. Need 2 from that bunch. What do we do, Johnny? What do we do here? Dillon for sure. Edmonds I don't trust yet. Connor's supposed to play, so I don't like that situation. Carter, I don't trust Carter yet, and the offense blows. Sanders is really tough to trust, but he did get used over 20 times last week, right? 24 carries, something like that. 22 carries. Give me Sanders, but I'm not real excited about it. You better not have Ramondre Stevenson on waivers, Johnny, or Penny. Even Jeff Wilson could potentially be better than these options other than Dylan. I go Dylan. I lock it in. Past that it really is a coin toss. G Money, my pal, my good buddy G Money, becoming a huge contributor to this show. With positivity and super chats and everything. I love the super chats. It helps keep the lights on. Ziggy, studio off. Lights get real. Actually, that's not bad. That ambiance is nice. Let's keep it like that. We should do the night stream with half the lights off like that. I like this. Does everybody like this better for the night streams? You kind of know we're in night zone. We're in the night stream right now. Is it still clear? Is the clarity still there? Because if it's still clear, we're rolling with the lights off at night. And this is G Money brought this on. This is the kind of positivity G Money brings to the table. Dude didn't even do anything. He didn't say anything about the lights, but what he did is bring positivity that made us try to turn the lights off. Night stream activated. G Money. Started Eckler. Wide receivers are Diggs, Chase, and Cup. Cup is your flex. Oh, Cup is your flex. That must be nice. Got to set the mood. Is it still clear, though? We got the clarity. I don't want to have a less clear live stream if the lights are off, but if it's still clear, this camera that I got, this new camera is amazing. I think we're clear. It's clear on my end, but I don't know if it looks as clear as it did. If it does, we're rolling with it. G Money just shoved us in this direction with his brilliance. Should running back 2 be Javonte or Ramondre? God, that's pulling at my heartstrings. That's pulling out my heartstrings right there. Guys, can we get a group think raindrop vote on this one? Just raindrop your vote in here. Are we going with Ramondre Stevenson or are we going with Javonte? Let's use our brain, not just our heart on this one. Who believes we're making a grave mistake by not going Javonte? Because he is going to play. He shouldn't be limited according to the report. And thank you, Johnson and Jacob, for your super chats. I put them in the corner. I'm rolling to yours next. I kind of feel like Ramondre Stevenson might be safer, and I hate to say that. You know how much I love Javonte Williams, bro. He is... The thing is, you've got a lot of good plays. I think you're going to be okay. I think if we are wrong on this one and Javonte balls out, bro... Like if Javonte balls out, Ramondre should get close enough to where it's not that big of a problem. Is kind of my thinking, G Money. So trust your gut. I want to say Javonte so badly, but my brain saying Stevenson. I'm just trying to think logically and not with my heart. They're still sharing carries. I will say if Melvin... Okay, let me put it this way. If Melvin Gordon sits, bro, because he's questionable... If Melvin Gordon takes a seat, Javonte, put him in. Don't even hesitate. Who's Ramondre at this point? If Javonte's solo starting this game in Week 15, who is Ramondre? I don't even know who that is. I don't even think I'd roster him. If I've got Javonte in my starting lineup, I wouldn't want to insult Javonte. I wouldn't want Javonte to think I'd even put somebody at his heels, nipping at his heels. I don't want that kind of controversy in my fantasy football locker room. But if Melvin is playing, he's questionable. If Melvin is playing, go Ramondre. And Ramondre is going to ball out. And then I love Ramondre. Ramondre, I'm kidding. Ramondre needs to be owned in all leagues. If anybody didn't pick up on that joke. Ramondre is going to ball out. Ramondre could win leagues for you this week, people. He could win rounds for you, round 1 for you. But he could win a league for you because he's going to put you in that take you to that next level. MJ says 91 out of 100. Like the video. Let's get him to 100. We got 160 to 180 in here constantly. So punch that thumbs up. says MJ. Thank you, MJ. Appreciate you. And G Money, thanks again for setting the mood. Smitty J. Wilson Jr. or risk it with James Conner. It sounds like Conner's going to play. But they do want to dial him back a little bit. So it is a tough call, bro. I'll probably say Conner if you feel like he's going to roll. Right now it feels like he will. Ramondre over Saquon, absolutely. What do we look like, Cowboy? What do we look like? The kind of people that are going to start, that are going to put Ramondre Stevenson on the bench? No siree, not me. Starting Javonte over Jeff Wilson, of course. Of course you are. Who would not? Who would not? Slayer in the house. Appreciate you, Slayer, for being here. Next super chat. This is from Torres. Torres, half PPR, Rondell Moore or Jeff Wilson. I'm probably going Jeff Wilson. Mitchell's out. This feels like a good... I don't know. This is tough. I like Rondell Moore a lot. This could burn me. But we're talking about 50-50 calls. We're talking about 50-50 calls here. I'd probably go with the potential volume that Jeff Wilson's going to get. I think he could get 100 yards in this game. But trust your gut. I'm very much on the fence. You could talk me into it. Just telling me a story about Rondell Moore. Like, hey, Rondell Moore out benches, almost everybody on the team at his little size and compact form. Hey, do you remember that Rondell Moore, Smitty, actually can out squat pretty much most linemen in the NFL? I bet you didn't actually know that. That's true information. This guy can out squat almost all the linemen on the team. This little refrigerator, mini fridge statured dude. He's like a heavy mini fridge, 5'8", I think, but dude's built like a tank. Rondell Moore. I love Rondell Moore. You could talk me into starting Rondell Moore very easily over just giving me a slice of pizza. Could influence me. Just not close. I'm not close. So make sure you're not going over on the side of Jeff Wilson just because I said it. I'm indifferent. I'm almost forced to give you an answer on this one. I don't feel I'm going to do that. Make that decision very lightly. So thank you for the super chat, Javonte Ramondre. This is the same question we had. Wow. Again, my answer is the same. If Melvin Gordon's out, Javonte goes into the lineup. You don't even hesitate. Don't hesitate. With Melvin Gordon in play, Ramondre feels a tad bit smarter. But I'm not going to lie, my heart says Javonte. It says Javonte. I can't help it. But I would say logic's telling me to say Ramondre if Melvin's playing. Jacob with a super chat. Thank you, Jacob. Smitty, need your thoughts. Looking for a tight end this week. Schultz. Ramondre. Is that who? RSJ. Who's that? That's Ramondre Stevenson Jr.? Why am I blanking out on RSJ? Why do you guys use all these initials all the time when so many players share the same initials? Like, if it's a very common one like JJ, I know some old Julio Jones supporters are going to say JJ's Julio, but it's not. It's Justin Jefferson. Give me a break. He owns it. Oh, Ricky Seals Jr. Ricky Seals Jones. Is it Ricky Seals Jones Jr.? Is it RSJJ? RSJ. Ramondre Stevenson Jr. Okay, so tight end Schultz or Ricky Seals Jones. I'm gonna go with Schultz, even over Conklin. Conklin's kind of the safest, but I'm gonna go with Schultz. I think most capable of scoring a couple touchdowns. I think Dak is looking for something right now. Safety net city. And he might just be like, Schultz, catch. Hey, Schultz, here's another touchdown. The most dual touchdown capable tight end of these three is Schultz. So give me that guy. Waller really letting us down. He certainly is. He certainly is. Waller is having a bust of a year, which is why you don't go tight end early. I preach it all the time. And I know Kittle's doing great. And I know Kelsey's doing great. But I'm telling you right now, Kittle's so injury prone, people will overdraft him. If he finishes the year healthy, they will overdraft Kittle. Let him. People will overdraft Kelsey again. And he's getting to that point where he's at the edge of that tipping point on the scale where it's going to go the other direction. Don't draft Kelsey early either. They're both going to finish well. I love them both right now for 15, 16, and 17. For weeks 15, 16, 17, I love them. But next year's different. Next year's a whole different topic. And you don't get points carrying over or credit carrying over from this year into next year. Aaron Jones or Ramondre, I mean, that's a coin toss, bro. That's a coin toss. Ryan, I appreciate your question here. Need help at running back. You got Taylor, fantastic. Monty, wide receivers are Evans and Jefferson with Renfro as a flex. So far, so good on the bench. Javonte, Clyde, Darrell Williams, Herbert, Penny, Stevenson available. Whoa. I feel like we can squeeze in. Wow. I mean, Renfro, you almost got to go Renfro at the flex. And, you know, Evans is a tough matchup. You could put Renfro in at the wide receiver spot and put Evans on the bench if you wanted to get Stevenson and Penny in there. But I don't think I'd do that. I think I'd keep Evans in there. I think Renfro you probably keep in there. So really it's coming down, Monty, do you start Penny, Stevenson, or Javonte? If Javonte is the lone starter, you put Javonte in and you don't even think about looking back. If not, do I like Stevenson over Monty? I do. Nagy is a mess, a disaster. Just bleeding the talent out of some of these players like Monty. And Monty's going to do good one week and then be misused the next week. I'm not saying I like the idea of sitting Monty. I really don't. And I'd be open to the idea of starting Javonte and Stevenson and sitting Evans with a tough matchup and sitting Monty. But you got to make that call. That's on you. I will ask the chat for you because I think groupthink is important. Groupthink can help you make really good decisions. And groupthink is oftentimes the better decision maker, pushing you over the edge type piece that I think if you add to your game, it helps. So I'd like to ask everybody this question. Who do you sit? If you're Ryan, do you sit Monty and do you sit Mike Evans, or do you play Evans and just play Stevenson or Javonte or Monty? So answer that question. Monty, Stevenson, or Javonte or Penny, or do you play two of them and sit Evans? So ask away. I would love to know what you guys think. And let's help out Ryan. Need a wide receiver 2 and a flex. Deontay, Jamar, Chase, Ramondre, Michelle, Jeff Wilson, Penny. Bro, you have a tough problem on your hands. You need a wide receiver 2. That's going to be Jamar Chase. You need a flex. That's either going to be Deontay or Ramondre Stevenson. And that, unfortunately, is a tough call. I think I probably lean Deontay in PPR. I probably lean Ramondre if it's non-PPR. And that gets really close. That's as close as it gets, and you can't really say that's right or wrong, bro. You know, at this point, obviously one will outscore the other probably unless they tie. But ahead of time in advance, you're not right or wrong on that. That's very, very close. All I can say is don't sit Stevenson, says Rooks. Yeah, Evans could be on lock coverage, but he's Evans. He's all over the field. I'd be tempted to sit Evans. I hate doing it, but I'd be tempted to go Stevenson. I mean, you could go Stevenson and Monty, right? No, you can't because you got to start a wide receiver, right? I mean, I don't want to go Stevenson and Monty, I guess, or Stevenson and Javonte. I don't know. That's tough. Gibson or Stevenson. Probably Gibby, but I'd be very tempted to go Stevenson. Very, very tempted. You could talk me into it very easily. Snake Eyes says I missed his super chat. Sorry, Snakey. I'm going to look for it. Terry, thank you for the super chat. I'll get to you guys right here. Ryan, I got to Ryan's. Thank you, Ryan, again. I hope I helped you, Ryan, but you have such a tough question. I'd be lying, bro, if I said it was an easy call. Schultz, I got that one. Thank you for that super chat. Where's Snakey's? I don't see Snakey's super chat. Hold on, Snakey. I'm looking. Oh, there it is. Boom! There it is, Snakey. Appreciate that 10 spot, bro. I turned the lights on, but we kind of like them off right now. Waddle. You lost Waddle due to the dreaded C list. I picked up AJ Green. Would you start Green in place of Waddle or pick up someone like Crowder, Peoples-Jones, KJ Osborne, or Kendrick Bourne? No, I'd rather have AJ Green over all those guys. So I think you made the right call there. I'm sorry about Waddle. Make sure you stay on top of this situation. Could he potentially get back in time? Who the heck knows? Just stay on it. But right now, AJ Green looks like the best, safest call. Snakey, I appreciate you, good buddy. This one's from Terry Roberts, the man, the myth, the legend. St. Brown versus Arizona or Van Jefferson versus Seattle on Tuesday. St. Brown's like gonna get fed. Like without Hawkinson and being down, it's the Cardinals though. I feel like St. Brown's gonna get a lot of volume. A lot of volume. And with the risk involved in this rescheduled game, I feel like you're safer going with St. Brown. And then if something happens there, then you have time to say, okay, then I'll play Jefferson. My fear is Jefferson, who knows what happens with that game? Who knows what happens with him? I kind of feel like since they're even, go with the guy ahead of time and kind of stave off the risk. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I'm looking at it. But I like Van Jefferson a lot. Like, Terry, don't lock it in. Bring it again to the next show. But that's a tough one. And wait, who's Saturday? I'm blanking out real quick. Who's the Saturday games? We have the Saturday games. We have we have Patriots and Colts only. Okay, yeah. So bring that to me tomorrow. Yeah, it's so weird looking at the schedule now. I'm all confused. I don't. Is it just me, or are you guys still confused too when you start thinking about the schedule? You're like, okay, I'm so used to what it was, and now I'm looking at it. It's like Monday. I mean, this is crazy. Look at this Monday and Tuesday. It's kind of nice in a way. It's a little treat. Our Monday and Tuesday are going to be quite fun, I have to admit, in terms if these games do end up playing. But it is confusing on the mind when you are set on a certain thing and you're looking at Monday's slate of games going, okay, I got 2 games right there. One's at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The other's at 6:15 Mountain Standard Time. You got 2 ball games there. You got 2 games at the same time on Tuesday. We got to find out if we can watch both these games and where we got to. It's going to be a little confusing. It's going to be a nice little treat on Tuesday, though. But it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Who knows what ramifications this has to next week in terms of short schedules and teams being tired. And then, of course, next week could be worse than this week in terms of all this C-list stuff. Everybody could be popping up on it. Who knows what's going to happen? Matt Slater with a massive, nice 10-spot super chat, Matt. Appreciate you, Matt. Get lammed. Get lammed in the best of ways. What up, Smitty? What's best, running back 2 and flex PPR? So running back 2 and flex. Stevenson, Gordon, Osborne, Westbrook, Gabe Davis. I kind of think Gordon and Stevenson are probably your best approaches. I don't mind Gabe Davis with Emmanuel Sanders out. Gabe Davis actually could be fed a lot. So if you're feeling Gabe Davis, not a bad option in PPR. You could convince me easily. But I'm going to say give me Gordon. Unless he's sitting or there's some word that he's going to be limited, give me Gordon, give me Stevenson. They're probably the safest bets. But if you have any doubts at all about Gordon and news looks weird on him, then switch it to Gabe Davis and don't think twice. Osborne's pretty good too. You could monitor Thielen, make sure Thielen's not playing, but I'm ranking him Stevenson, Gordon, Gabe Davis personally. But very, very close call. You could literally talk me into the other. It's that close. Stevenson is a top 12 running back. Easy for me, says Gary. Easily, Gary. He's inside the top 10 for me with ease. What would you do? Derrick Henry might come back. He's not coming back, but Tyler, let's say he did. Okay, Tyler, close your eyes. Okay, imagine right now. Let's see here. Let's get some music going.
Get lambed.
Hold on, we're trying to find a. We got some music here. Oh,
Take a deuce, take a deuce. Take a deuce, take a deuce.
we got to bring that take a deuce music in more often. I don't know if where's my let's just go with this one. Tyler, close your eyes for a second. Imagine, I'm going to hypnotize you. Imagine that Derrick Henry comes back in the final game. This 260-pound man rushing his foot injury where there's no good blood flow or blood supply and that Jones fracture on his foot. And that man steps out onto the field and tries to carry the ball 30 times. What do you think's going to happen? They're not going to give him the ball 30 times. And he won't be the same guy this first game back. You got to be wary of that. Number two, they will be stupid, Tyler. And they are. And they are. They ran this man 30 times a game. So when I say they've got to be stupid to play him before the playoffs, the NFL playoffs, they are capable of it, Tyler. They've proven that. But they would have to be even worse, beyond ridiculously stupid, to put Derrick Henry in that lineup early when it doesn't really fully matter. Like, locking up this seed or that seed's irrelevant if you injure the man coming back from a Jones fracture surgery and you hurt this man before the NFL playoffs. You're better off not fighting for this seed or that seed, walking into the playoffs with Derrick Henry more likely to be healthy and not have a reoccurrence or a refracture of that Jones fracture. I don't think he comes back and plays. If he does, it will be ridiculously irresponsible, which the Titans are completely capable, they've proven it, of being. So, trust your gut, but I do not see Henry coming back, broski. I just don't see it, bro. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but please, everyone in the chat, do not play any Jacksonville Jaguar wide receivers, says Rooks. Non-PPR, pick one: Zeke, Sony, AJ Green, or Edmonds. Of course, news dependent. If Sony's starting, Sony by a mile. If not, maybe Zeke. But depends on the news. Will Sony get majority of the work and Hendy barely get used? Will Hendy be out? So news dependent, bro. But hopefully I broke it down in a way that if the news breaks, you'll know what I'm thinking. Because Sony Michel would be the top guy by a mile. I think James Robinson is going to get everything. He could, Rooks, but maybe it takes a little while for them to transition. Maybe it happens right away. Missed a super chat from Patrick. Thank you, Patrick. Matt, thank you for your super chat again. Rangers is right here. So we apparently can't switch players out weekly in the Smitty contest. Had I known, would have changed a few. Now I'm screwed because of Waddle and the Big C. Yeah, I made it pretty clear though. I'm sorry you missed some of the instructions on it, but it is a best, like in every single place where you signed up, I had a thing that said it's one and done best ball. You draft, you don't touch it. There's no waivers. Like, I hammered it home. I'm sorry, Rangers, that you missed those parts or maybe didn't. I don't blame you. I don't listen a lot of the time either. When somebody tells me to fill out something or sign up for something, I'm not paying attention. I just go straight to it, click the link. But I spelled it out pretty clearly every video I did where I'm like, it's one and done. It's best ball. There's no lineups. There's no waivers. Be strategic. There are bye weeks. You got to. I did all this in the pitches. You got to draft around the bye week because there's a bye week right in the middle of the beginning of that contest. So I apologize that you thought that, but I did my best. And I don't know where I'm even ranking on that, bro. I'm ranking low. I picked some. I think I picked somebody that got hurt as well. Rangers says, it's all good, bro. I had a few beers that night and signed up for it. That's typically the culprit, Rangers. Typically the culprit. Patrick with a super chat. Smitty, late to the party. Thoughts on Michael Carter as a running back 2 this week when activated? Patrick, I really wish you could have given me a couple options, though, because I want to know who your alternatives are. Do I like Michael Carter enough to put him in if I'm in a bind? Sure. Do I like Stevenson or Penny over him? By a mile. So give me a couple alternatives, Patrick, and I'll try and piece it together for you. Okay, Trains, what's up, 28? 28, appreciate that question. He says, pick 3, PPR, Najee, Aaron Jones, AJ, Javonte, Stevenson, Sanders, or Penny. Pick 3, PPR. So Najee, Aaron Jones, and Stevenson are your smartest calls. Could I go Javonte over Stevenson? What if Javonte's starting all by himself? He's your running back 2. If Javonte's sharing and Melvin doesn't look limited, then I could get behind putting Stevenson over Javonte, even though it's killing me. It's killing me. Like I hate that I'm in this position. Like I don't want receipts of me saying don't start Javonte Williams. I'm not gonna say it. I'm going to say it's hard for me to not start Stevenson, but you won't get me to say the words or utter them in a way that there's receipts on the internet of me saying bench Javonte. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not saying it. The words are not coming out of my mouth. But good Lord. Patrick says Pollard, Hubbard, or Carter. I might go Pollard. I might go Hubbard and Pollard over Carter. I don't know that I trust Carter right now. Guys in the chat, who do you like? Pollard, Hubbard, or Carter? Help out Patrick, please. Help him out. My bad. My phone glitched out. Ricardo said. I don't know what you're talking about, but no problem. Pick 2, Stevenson, Gibson, or Javonte. Probably Stevenson and Gibson, but again, if Javonte's starting, if Melvin Gordon gets ruled out, then he's the number 1 option. Okay, it happens that quick. Boom, number 1 option on the board for you if that happens. And between Julio, St. Brown, and Osborne, St. Brown's probably the play. I think the volume will be there with Hawkinson out. The Cardinals likely being up big or at least ahead, and the Lions needing to pass, whether they do it effectively the whole game or not. I don't know. Carter by a mile, take a lap. Gary, you always have such strong opinions, pal. It's a literally 50-50 call, and you're telling me by a mile, take a lap. It's Gary, you couldn't get closer. What was the question? It was Carter. There were like 3 really close calls. I forget. I already lost them, but they weren't. It was not by a mile. Gary with his Gary's hilarious, man. Carter. I mean, you're not wrong. The chat loves Carter, but by a mile. I mean, this ain't McLaurin, bro. This ain't McLaurin. Gallup, Ayuk, James Robinson is at the flex. Give me J-Rob, I guess, man. Give me J-Rob, I guess. Hopefully things get turned around very fast for him. I meant in the distance of a Smitty lap. Okay. All right, Gary, I appreciate you. And I'm not mad at you, Gary. I find it funny sometimes how passionate you are about a stance that is so close, bro. I've been starting Miami in 4 leagues. Atta boy. Zeke or AJ Green? Probably Zeke. Begrudgingly. Smitty, I am locked for the playoffs next week. I'm playing my boy this week who needs to win. If someone else wins, do I lamb him or let him make it? You don't let anybody make anything. First of all, Jeezy, when you try and open the door in an unfair fashion, it comes back to bite you 99% of the time. If you try and take a dive in a week to get a better seed or to fall because you want to play somebody else, and I'm not saying you're trying to do this to play somebody else, you're trying to do this so your buddy gets in, but if you try and manipulate the fantasy football realm, it will
Get lambed.
Go ahead.
Getting lambed.
It will absolutely lamb you. It will backfire. Do not mess with everything that is meant to be. It is a form of karma. It is like there's no undoing it. So play ball, bro. Don't manipulate everything. Plus, you will be told, hey, you're cheating and colluding and then trying to get your buddy in. Like, let your buddy earn it. Like, what's he got to sneak in for? He can't earn it. He shouldn't be there. He shouldn't play in the big game. He should be watching the show. Jeezy, he needs to be watching the show. If he's not watching the show, he's getting lambed. Don't watch, lamb. Get lambed, don't watch. They go hand in hand. Nobody deserves to be handed a spot in the playoffs that just because they're your boy. Okay. Appreciate you though, Jeezy. Yeah, I mean, there's memory, there's muscle memory there. The fantasy gods do not forget. They'll take care of you. They'll take care of you good. Chuba or Ayuk for my flex. I'm trying to lamb my opponent. Probably Ayuk, but you're not going to lamb him with either one, bro. But the rest of your team might. Javonte or Ramondre, we've had this all show, Luca. I know you just want to get another feel, unless you just showed up. We've talked about this like 10 times, and that's okay if you just joined us. I'm not mad about it. If you want more content on it, rewatch, because we talk about it a lot. My brain is telling me Ramondre, my heart is saying Javonte, and they're equally strong. If Javonte is said to start and Melvin Gordon sits, yeah, no problem, Luca. I'm just telling you, rewatch if you want more on this, but because we talk about it a lot. There's a lot of info to listen to. If Melvin Gordon sits, Javonte's a top 5 running back play. Like, there's not even like anybody that asks, should I start Javonte Williams if Gordon's out and ruled out, and he's questionable with the hand. If Gordon's ruled out and somebody says, should I start Javonte over, it's take a lap. Right now, though, Javonte is even with Ramondre. Ramondre feels a little bit safer. As of right now, Luca. That's how I feel. You don't have to rewind it. I'm just telling you there's more content there. And Luca, you never have to apologize for asking a question. I'm just trying to let you know there's more content. Your show is so dope. Thank you, Hector. Hector, just for that.
Go ahead.
Getting lambed.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Smitty approved, Hector. Smitty approved. Your commentary has been approved. Terry Roberts says 162 in here. Why do we not have more than 109 likes? He likes it. He's happy, but after you mess with the fantasy gods, your roster starts lighting up with outs, limiteds, and IRs. Or your team does bad, you lose, and then they tear it up. Like, nothing's worse than watching your team potentially crushing everybody in the league when it's already out. Like, you get bumped out of round 1 because you played the worst league, the worst team in the league, that you tried to lamb the fantasy gods and wiggle your way into a seed to play this bad team. The bad team goes off, beats you. Your studs don't do anything. They beat you, and then you watch your team explode in week 17 and 18 this year, or week 16 and 17 this year. And you would have won. You would have beat everybody by a mile. But because you screwed up trying to manipulate things, you got bumped out early. And now you watch your team beat everybody while they're out. It's the worst feeling in the world. Not in the world. In the fantasy world. Joel. Pass defense is fire right now. I've benched Pittman. You guys are having conversations and having a good old time here, and I'm interrupting. I'm sorry. Robert says, sorry, Smitty, but it's Javonte season. We don't need no reason, so take a lap. Let's play the song. Let's play the song.
Do you smell it? This is Javonte season. We don't need no reason. We come rumbling, tumbling, stumbling in the end zone. Touchdown. It's Javonte
This is a song created by you guys. Your voice messages clipped together.
It's Javante season. We've been waiting for this all season. Now that Melvin Gordon out, we starting without rhyme or reason. See me running on the field for a Bronco victory. You don't even know me because you didn't listen to Smitty.
Here we go.
Uno, dos, camera no. Dos y tres, Cuquito no. Cuatro, cinco, dame Levante Williams. Levante para el touchdown. Oh, sí,
There you go.
you smell it?
A song made by the people for the people.
Take a deuce. Take a deuce. Take a deuce. Take a deuce.
Also, I have this little number for you guys as well. Let me see here if I can play it. Where is this? I think it's right here. Here we go. Watch this right here. This little tiny clip. Where is it at? What is going on, good buddy? If you want me to rule over a certain situation in your league where you think something's going on that shouldn't be going on,
You can't change the rules mid-season, Bob.
or you're having a dispute, two people, I'll put you on the Fantasy Football Court, a new series on the Fantasy Football Show on YouTube and probably Spotify. All you got to do is submit a video clip to me on Instagram at the Fantasy Football Show. Send me a 59-second video clip with your side of the story. And if you can get the other side even better, then I can give you a true fair and square ruling.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp, Bob.
But I can decide on something in general. If you've got some corrupt situation going on, you want my take on it, give me the 59-second video clip right here, which I will put in the show. Know that. And then I will make a ruling. In your DM, put Fantasy Court first so I can identify it. Get to it.
FantasyFootballCourt.com. Get some.
What is going on, good buddy? If you want me to rule over a certain situation in your league where you think something's going on that shouldn't be going. There we go. Sorry. Couldn't stop it. I'm like, what's going on? If you guys want to be on Fantasy Football Court, just you can go to fantasyfootballcourt.com and it'll explain it all again. But I will rule. I will do a full court type assessment. Like judge, jury, executioner. I will make it a spectacle, and Your Honor will preside over your fantasy football situation. So definitely hit me up, and we will. Is my mic off? Hold on. What is going on here? Go. We're back. We're live. Sorry about that. I don't know. My when I switch over, things happen. What was I saying? Oh, fantasyfootballcourt.com. Go to fantasyfootballcourt.com or just DM me on Instagram a 59-second clip, and we'll take care of it. We'll do your whole. I know my mic got lammed. We'll do a whole spectacle. I'll preside over your case. So if you have a controversial situation, if your commissioner's gone rogue and I can't even hear two sides of the story, you want to present your side of the story, I will give you my ruling on your dilemma, on your corrupt situation. Is there collusion going on? Do you want a piece of information to present to your commissioner and say, look, this prestigious show called the Fantasy Football Show even is saying, Smitty is saying this is corrupt. Overturn it. I will rule. I will rule on your situation. Present it. Submit it. Let's go. Fantasyfootballcourt.com. Submit your case now. Okay? Submit it now. How late are we going? Probably not a whole lot longer. broski. I wish I could, but we probably won't. I think we've gotten to a lot of the information. There's not a whole lot left to peel back and look at. Let me refresh the news real quick and just make sure nothing is floating around out there fresh and new that we're not talking about. Again, Lamar Jackson's very questionable. Hollywood Brown's questionable. We got through all the news. Adam Thielen's trending toward a game-time decision. Saquon Barkley will play Week 15. George Kittle, knee is left off the injury report, so his knee shouldn't be an issue. Foster Moreau expected to play Week 15. Saints running back Mark Ingram activated off the dreaded C list. DK Metcalf returns to full practice Friday. Will be a go. Start DK. Lockett may or may not, with the postponement, be able to play. We'll find out. News will probably break on that tomorrow in the coming days. But for right now, DK Metcalf, whether he plays or not, is set up to have, I think, a pretty decent game while people still doubt him. He's capable. Eli Mitchell to be held out with swelling in the knee. He will not play Week 15, which means that Jeff Wilson will probably start. Whether he gets a 100-yard game or not, it's tough to say. Tony Pollard, foot listed questionable for the Giants. Tony Pollard is a risky play, but if you're in a bind, I'd throw him out there unless some negative news emerges. But I'd rather have Zeke over Pollard for this week only until we know what's what with Pollard. Or if news breaks on Pollard getting a full, course meal or a half-course meal like he normally gets, then I might roll over to the Pollard side of the fence if I feel like he's not going to be limited. But right now I feel like he could be limited. Jalen Hurts practices in full on Friday. Zach Ertz, hamstring questionable against the Lions. Let me see if there's anything else. We went over most of this already, but I'm just trying to roll through it. Aaron Jones will play Week 15 against the Ravens. Get him out there. Melvin Gordon is questionable for Week 15. Gordon was limited all week in practice with his status on Sunday. Not appearing to be in significant question, but he's still questionable. That means 50-50. That means warm-ups are required to kind of see if, he's go. But I think Melvin Gordon's trending in the direction of playing. Valdez-Scantling looking like he's probably going to play. DeAndre Swift is out. Marquise Hollywood Brown, illness questionable for Week 15. Hollywood Brown returned to limited practice on Friday, but is truly questionable to play. But if Lamar Jackson doesn't play, who has a quote-unquote chance to play, which is not a good sign. If Lamar doesn't play, that means Hollywood's probably a less, solid play, and the Ravens will be down and trailing in a game where I think the Packers run. After they do a lot of damage through the air, the Packers will score a lot all over the field. Running, passing. I think A-Rod has a big game. I think the running game has a big second half. Eli Mitchell again out. Kareem Hunt out. Nick Chubb a go for now. Monitor that running back room, which looks like it could be riddled with the dreaded C issue. Tyler Higbee on the reserve list. Manuel Sanders doubtful, out, pretty much out at this point. Josh Allen removed from the final injury report. Hurts, already talked about him. Stafford, the news here just talking about the game being postponed. For people that don't know, the Seahawks and Rams game has been moved to Tuesday. Mark Ingram returned to practice. The Browns and the Raiders game moved to Monday. Javonte Williams returned to practice. That is pretty much everything in a nutshell. So there you have it. Ready for a W this week, says Snakey. You'll love the show, says 28. What are we talking about, 28? Oh, Yellowstone? Guys, I am so addicted to Yellowstone right now. I've been talking about this show on my Instagram. I've been binging it. I pretty much watched like 6 episodes in a row last night until it was 4 a.m. in the morning. And right now it's 11:46 p.m. And I don't mean to offend anyone in here right now. I don't mean to offend you. I don't mean to kind of like disrespect you. But I can't wait to get out of here and just flip on Yellowstone. I'm so addicted to this show. I feel stronger and tougher. This is me after watching season 1 of Yellowstone. What's going on, everybody? Smitty from the Fantasy Football Show. This is me after season 2 of Yellowstone. What's up? This is Smitty from the Fantasy Football Show. This is me entering. I'm in episode 2 of season 3 of Yellowstone. This is me walking into the show after watching all season 2 and starting season 3. I'm on episode 2. What are you looking at? Are you looking at me? Are you looking at me? I don't think you're looking at. I don't think you have the courage to look at me. I don't have a belt buckle like Silver Rapture, but I might have to get one. This is like Sons of Anarchy on a ranch. Is just an absolute phenomenal show. 1883 looks good. I'm gonna watch that. Let's see here. Tua, Taysom, or Burrow this week. I'm going Burrow. Bro. Pick 2, Fournette. Monitor Fournette. Henderson, Monty, and Ramondre. Lock in Ramondre, and then the news is going to decide what you do at that next spot, bro. Terry. Smitty, I'm starting Yellowstone after this. Wow. Yeah, Terry, you need to. Top-notch show. I don't know if you're talking about my show, champ, or Yellowstone. But either way, bro, you're right. Either way, it's a win. I just watched episode 1 earlier. It gets more addicting as you go, bro. Every episode's gets phenomenally better. And I hear season 4 is slower, but I don't care. I still love seasons that are slower. I'm okay with it. But season 2 and 3 have been phenomenal. Yellowstone and a Cinnabon. I just tore into a Cinnabon. Blackbeard must have been on my live stream, or I was on Dr. Raj's live stream earlier, and I was tearing into a Cinnabon. And now I'm going to watch Yellowstone. Plain and simple. Is it like Breaking Bad, Smitty, where it starts off slower? No, it started off fast. I've heard season 4 is slower than season 1, 2, and 3. Episode 1 or 2 is probably setting the tone if you're talking about the show being slower in the beginning. But no, it's fantastic. Yellowstone's great. Phenomenal production. Kevin Costner. I love how a lot of actors in movies are now doing these like TV shows that you don't hear about, and you're like, how do they have the time to do this? They're just going to television instead of movies. And Kevin Costner is just phenomenal in it. It's a great show. Already started Clyde Edwards-Helaire, unfortunately. Who are you taking out, Aaron Jones or Saquon? Who are you taking out of Aaron Jones, Saquon, and Stevenson? You need 2. I'd probably sit Barkley. I'd probably start Aaron Jones and Stevenson, but trust your gut because Saquon could have a day. He could have a day. They all could. They're all close, but I sit Saquon personally. Both shows, you'll love season 4. Thank you, Trains. Freeman or Gibson. Go Gibson, bro. You can't. Anything can happen, but. Yellow Jackets. It's weird, but good. Okay, we'll give it a try. I got a long list of shows for any one of you that need a good show. Because I pretty much feel like I need to start like a TV show streaming. I've done it before, and I just don't have the time for it, but I want to have a podcast, on TV shows and streaming and what's good and talk about. Like, I feel like it would be popular. It'd be pretty good. I just need time to do it. I feel like it would blow up. I feel like it would be a really good show. Just talking about these shows, like after dark type conversations. Maybe I pull down a green screen right here and just put myself in the different setting or whatever. But I absolutely love talking TV and movies. And I hate to do it on here because sometimes people just want football and then they're like, okay, I'm going to come back when he's done talking about TV, but whatever. Where did you find Banshee? I wanted to give it a go. Go to Amazon Prime. Banshee is on Amazon Prime. And I have a homework assignment for all of you. Number 1 must-see show that you probably have not seen. I don't know where you can find it right now, but Borgia. Not the Borgias. It's singular. Borgia. One word, called Borgia. Banshee. So Banshee's on Prime. Last Kingdom is on Netflix. Kingdom is on, what is it called? What is that? Peacock. Go watch, and then Yellowstone. Let me put Yellowstone on here. Yellowstone 5 is Yellowstone, and that can be found on Peacock as well, or like it's Paramount Network, but you can find it like on like YouTube TV or your cable provider most likely. But these are like, you want to say thank you, Smitty. Can I have another? It's this right here. It's this right here. These are your shows. These are the shows that you must watch. Champ says audio Smitty. What are you talking about, audio Smitty? What do you mean, bro? Borgia, not the Borgias, Borgia. And Ray Donovan too. If you haven't seen Ray Donovan, I gotta put Ray Donovan on. It's such a good show. They're coming out. They kind of canceled it, and they're coming out with a movie. So there's gonna be one final movie. Ozark they kind of canceled as well, but they're coming out with one season, part 1 and part 2. These are your top TV shows to go watch that I almost guarantee you will absolutely love. If you love like Sons of Anarchy, Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Ozark, whatever, these are the freaking shows you need to watch. Ray Donovan is Showtime, I think. So I don't know where you could find Borgia right now. You might have to download it on like iTunes or something for right now until we locate it. But Borgia, not the Borgias, that's a Showtime version of the same storyline. But Borgia is a phenomenal show. 24, Ray Donovan, that's tough because 24 is so old, but I love 24 for its time. But these are your top 6 must watch. You probably haven't seen him shows. Banshee's unbelievable. Borgia's just phenomenal. Last Kingdom on Netflix it's like a Vikings meets Gladiator meets whatever. Freaking awesome. Kingdom is an MMA family. It's not like a documentary. It's an actual TV show about a family that's like they own an MMA gym and there's all kinds of trouble that comes their way. Kingdom, unbelievable. Yellowstone, I'm watching it now. Ray Donovan, all phenomenal. Go watch these. These are my must-watch shows. And anybody that doesn't watch these right now is missing out. Okay, that does it for tonight's show. I appreciate all of you. Borgia over Yellowstone, probably, bro. Probably. Borgia was phenomenal. I've never been so sad when a show ended. It was amazing. Amazing. Just watch everything on... I've never heard of that. I want to watch... I've been getting into The Witcher a little bit. Witcher's pretty good so far. I'm only a couple episodes in, but I'm watching Yellowstone. Nothing but Yellowstone right now. I'll get back to The Witcher later. Appreciate all you. See you tomorrow night, midnight Eastern, unless I do an immediate live stream. I might do an emergency live stream. There's news breaking, whatever. Thank you to everybody who dropped a super chat, a like, a comment, a question, anything. I appreciate you. Let's get to 10K. I know it sounds hard, but I need you to share the channel and the show with other people. Whether it's walking into a sports bar and yelling or talking to the first 5 people you see and go, hey, just want to let you know the Fantasy Football Show. Record yourself doing it. Like, send it to me. I'll put it on the show and I'll show you promoting the show. Have a sign, whatever. Just one time is all I'm asking. That you go to a decent amount of people and you tell them to watch the Fantasy Football Show on YouTube. YouTube.com/the Fantasy Football Show. Because the bigger we get, the more content, the more live streams, the more focused I can be on going live and producing content and not be as focused on some of the other business aspects of this that take up so much of my time as I'm trying to grow this channel. The quicker we grow, the more you're going to get, I promise you. So please spread the word and let's go. Great show. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Blackbeard. Appreciate you. we'll... I'm not sure what somebody says. See you tomorrow. Appreciate you guys. No more... Be safe, everybody. No more C-list. You guys should watch Smitty. Great TV talk. Yeah, watch the show, the fantasy football show. That should be number 1 on your list. But after that, then you watch the list I gave you. Appreciate you. Spread the word. Comment. I'll try and respond to everybody's comment for the next 12 to 24 hours on this specific video, not on the old ones. So please, ask a question in the comments. There are 131 of you still in here. Ask a question, and I will answer it. Almost guaranteed if you ask it within the next 12 hours. On the way out the door, I leave all the good comments. Let's go.